Hello students, let's start chapter number 9 of civics, urban livelihoods. In the previous chapter we studied about rural livelihoods, means how the people earn their livelihood in rural areas. We discussed about that most of the people are engaged in the farming activities like growing the crops in their fields. Some of them are landless laborers, agricultural laborers. The people do the irrigation work in their fields, harvesting, sowing, etc. Many people are engaged in non farming activities like shopkeeping, construction work, labor, etc. So now we'll study about urban livelihoods, that how the people earn their livelihood in urban areas, means cities. See this illustration you can find here. You can see different kinds of people are engaged in different works. This is crowded area. Here the people are moving in the cars and buses, high buildings. This is dhaba, small shops, food items sellers. Students are going to the school and selling the newspaper. Different people are engaged in different works. Here this is another crowded area. The person is running after the bus. Here the vendor and other people. So we can observe in this illustration. Now this is about cities. There are more than 5,000 towns and 27 big cities in India. If we see the current data, approximately 4,000 cities are in India. Out of them 46 cities have the population of more than 1 million. It means 46 cities have the population of more than 1 million. 11 cities in India are having the population of more than 3 million. Clear? These cities are known as mega cities, like Bombay, it's called Mumbai now, Chennai, Kolkata, Delhi, etc. 300 cities in India are having the population of more than 1 lakh, right? 1 lakh population. So here we can read the statement. Big cities like Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, etc. have more than 1 million people living and working here. They say that the city never sleeps. Let's visit one and find out about the work people do in the city, how they earn their livelihood. Are they self-employed? How do they organize themselves? And do they have similar employment and earning opportunities? Now, see this image. In this image, we can observe many people are engaged in different works. Let's start the discussion. Here is the description given by a child, the visit of a city. This is the city where my cousin lives. I have been here only a few times. It's very big city. Once when I came here, my cousin took me around. We left the house early in the morning. As we turned the corner onto the main street, we saw that it was already buzzing with activity. The vegetable vendor was busy arranging tomatoes, carrots, and cucumbers in baskets at a stall so that people could see what things are there and what she had to sell. Next to her stall was a lovely, colorful one that sold all kinds of flowers. We bought a red rose and a yellow rose. On the pavement opposite, we saw a person selling newspapers with a small crowd of people around him. Is the people in the morning purchase the newspaper from newspaper seller. Everyone wanted to read the news. Buses whizzed past and there were auto rickshaws filled with school children. Nearby, under a tree, a cobbler sat taking his tools and materials out of a small tin box. Next to him, the roadside barber had begun his work. He already had a customer who wanted an early morning shave. A little way down the road, a woman was pushing along a cart with all kinds of plastic bottles, boxes, hairpins, clips, etc. in it, while another person on a cycle trolley was carrying vegetables to sell to people in their houses. We came to a place where rickshaws were standing in a row waiting for customers. That is called a rickshaw stand. We decided to take one to the market, which was about 2 kilometers down the road. Means the people have the journey through rickshaw also in the city. Bachu Manji, a cycle rickshaw puller. Here, the description of Bachu Manji. He is saying that I come from a village in Bihar. It means he is belonging to a village from Bihar where I worked as a mason. He used to do the work as mason in Bihar in his village. My wife and 3 children live in the village. It means his family lives in the village. We don't own land. In the village, I didn't get masonry work regularly. The income that I earned was not enough for our family. So what Bachu Manji had to do? He left the village in search of job and uh, came into city. After I reached the city, I bought one old cycle rickshaw and paid for it in installments. This was many years ago. I come to the bus stop every morning and take the customers wherever they want to go. I walk till 8:30 in the evening. I take rides of up to 6 kilometers in the surrounding area. Each customer gives me rupees 10 to 30 per trip depending on the distance. When I am ill, I can't do this work. So when he is ill, he cannot earn money. So on those days, he did not earn anything. I stay with my friends in a rented room and they share the room. It means they work in a nearby factory. I earn between 200 to 300 every day, out of which I spend rupees 100 to 150 on food and rent, etc. The rest he saves for his family, and he visited the village 2 or 3 times a year to see the family. Then he's saying, though my family survives on the money I send, my wife also earns from agricultural work that she gets once in a while. It means his wife is an landless agricultural laborer. She works on others' field and earns a little. So this was the description about Bachu Manji, a rickshaw puller. Why did Bachu Manji come to the city? Because he has no more work in the village, not sufficient amount as earning in the village. So he left the village and came to the city. Why can't Bachu Manji live with his family? Because here the city is very expensive, very costly. So he cannot afford the rent and other expenditures for the entire family. So he lives with his friends and share the rent, etc. He also cannot live in the village because there is no enough work for Manji in the village, right? Like Bachu Manji, a large number of people in the city work on the streets. in a survey of Ahmedabad city, it was found 12% of all the workers in the city were people working on the street. It means out of all the workers, 12% people work in the street. They sometimes sell their things uh, or repair them to provide a service. They work on their own, they are not employed by anyone, and therefore have to organize their own work. They have to plan how much to purchase as well as where and how to set up their shops. Their shops are usually temporary structures, sometimes just some boards or paper spread over discarded boxes, or maybe a canvas sheet hung up on a few poles. They may also use their own carts or simply a plastic sheet spread on the pavement. They can be asked to dismantle their shops at any time by the police, by the local administration, because they set up their shops in the streets, so they can be removed anytime. They have no security. There are certain parts of the city where these hawkers are not allowed to enter. Vendors sell things that are often prepared at home by their family members who purchase, clean, sort, and make them ready to sell. For example, those who sell food or snacks on the street prepare most of these at home. Some of the bakery items also. There are almost 1 crore street vendors in the country. We can remember this thing: 1 crore street vendors in the country working in urban areas only. Street vending was still recently looked upon only as an obstruction to traffic, to people walking, because they they move in the streets. However, with the effort of many organizations, it is now recognized as a general benefit and as a right of people to earn their livelihood as vendors. The government is thinking about modifying the law that bans street vendors so that they have a place to work and that there is also a free flow of traffic and people. Hawking zones have been suggested for towns and cities. It has also been suggested that mobile vendors should be allowed to move around freely. The specific areas should be fixed. Hawkers need to be part of committees that are set up to take these and other decisions relating to them. So, in this way, dear students, we have studied about some people and their occupation, how they earn their livelihood. The rest of the things we'll study in the next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.